Now in this video I will explain you how the techcontroversy.com site can be used. When you when you log in for the first time, that is log in, when you go reach the homepage of techcontroversy.com, you will see the stories that are most important from the previous day. Now the 6th of December, and we see most of the story from the 5th of December, such as Apple paying back taxes to Ireland, or Google pulling YouTube support for Amazon Fire TV. Now, if you wanted to see the stories on the same page, we could just select here this icon or the number, and we go on to this view where we will see all the stories one after the other, so you can uh, read them and see what each news outlet is saying about this. The other opportunities, if you wanted to compare only two stories, you could choose to compare the first one with the second or the third. We could choose this icon. We can see them side by side. This is sometimes more interesting. If we are interested not only in the stories that are exactly, the article is exactly about the same story, or we think that there is not all of them anyway, we could choose this icon and find and ask the program to find all the articles that are similar to this one. Now, for instance, after we see that the programs found in a range of 2 days incorrectly some other stories that are actually not related, but in fact this gives me a probability of a small probability anyway. We'll go back to this view because this view allows also other stuff. Now going back to the controversial, of course you can scroll down and read all the stories one after the other. So until we can go to the very to the very end, and of course there is the possibility to page. The second view is called similar view. In this view, we don't have article story by group, but we have so-called article pairs. So there are all the article pairs that the programs have found that show some degrees of similarity are shown side by side, along with the probability that are related to the same story and the regression score. Well, the regression score uh, may may be high even if the program thinks that the articles are not related to the same story but are related. On the other hand, the probability here just just a category, just takes into account the whether the two articles are likely to relate to the same story, even if they are somewhat related. Now, actually, this is actually a good example because these are both about Windows 10 and may be related, but are most likely may not the same stories, because this is about Windows 10 on Snapdragon processors, while this is about Windows PC on Qualcomm chips. Yes, strongly related, but not the same story. So that's the reason why the categorization and the regression works differently. On the other hand, here these stories are definitely article definitely relating the same story about Nintendo going to China. Well, on the administrative view, I would confirm that the same story. Articles that are very high probability that are related to the same story are already by default put together in the controversial view, while some with a lower probability will need a confirmation by the administrator to be shown together in this view. Okay, and this search view instead is a view that allows to to search articles for which we have tests. Now, uh, if I wanted to find an articles that similar to this story, okay, I would copy and paste here and submit, and it the program would find stories that are reasonably articles that are reasonably similar according to two scores. Now, this being a particular story, probably is not found very many similar articles, but you get the idea. So that's what be the original idea of this site. That would be when you find an article on a site, just use this Techcontroversy to verify it against sources that I consider, let's say, reliable, and this in the vein of fighting fake news and so on. Of course, we can also go on after finding these related articles, checking whether there are similar ones. And here we find articles that are similar to this one, tracking the spread of culture through folk tale, in a date range that you can actually increase if you want. As we see, we are in this page. Look up. This page is also used to search for article in database. We can go random and let us give us a random article and the related stories. In a certain range, or if you, for instance, have an ID, we can actually we can okay, this was a statistic, but there's another. If you have an ID, let's say this one, or on all the Drupal, we can directly go to them and see articles that are similar, let's say, and possibly compare them side by side, if this help us in any way. And the last thing that we can do is just browse. So from top, look at the articles that are being imported lately. There is also the possibility there is also a very primitive search, that is a little search on the title. So let's say if you search with Google, we'll find just the articles that have Google in the title and nothing more, because actually for the search we have this other tab that makes them more similarity search. So we would search articles that are the most similar to the text you enter there. Okay, and of course from here you can jump to this similar articles. Okay, and that's all. Thank you for watching.